Okay, another feature that we've had added since our September videos is summarization. So if you don't want to read through this whole email and would just like a summary, you can click on summarize at the top here. And if I just swipe, it's put the summary at the top. And we can see a very, on this occasion, brief summary on the email content there. We can also use other Apple Intelligence tools in Mail now. So here we have an email from Lee to Barry asking for payment of an invoice. You can see actually up here it's been marked as a time-sensitive transaction, so it lives over here in the transactions category. And I think this should have been a priority notification, to be honest. I tend to find that that feature is a little bit hit and miss at the moment. It doesn't pick up everything, and sometimes it does present things as a priority when they aren't. But it's early days and it will learn. Anyhow, I can use Apple Intelligence to form a quick reply to this email with smart replies. So if I press Command and R to reply, below the cursor there are two options there. One is I'll pay it and the other is I won't pay it. So I'll click on the latter and a smart reply is being generated. And there it is. Very simple. I can add some context to that if I wish, and I can click done to keep it, or I can revert back here. Next, we have the ability to use Apple Intelligence to create your own memory movies in Photos. Again, this is on all platforms, and if I click on memories here, some should already be there, and we can click here to create a new one. I'll type in a description. So this will be my Disneyland Paris holidays. And we've got a lovely graphic sequence here of the photos being scanned. They're being assessed for what needs to be in our movie and what shouldn't. And when it's done, the movie starts playing. We've got the first one that we've already seen with the spot. And there's some music playing in the background, but we have a nice little slideshow. And when you move your pointer, there are some controls that appear down here. I think I'll pause to stop it playing. So these features have been around with the memory function since it came in, but over here you can click and this allows you to change the music that is playing. You can take any of the suggestions or browse for your own. And you can also apply a filter here to all of the photos in the slideshow as well. Now, as said, those are items that have been in memories since they first arrived. However, using Apple Intelligence to create the memory movies for you, that is the brand new addition that we have. Also in Photos, we now have a dedicated link here to all photos or images that have been shared with you by others. And if I come up here to Library, over here on the right where you can filter your photos, we can now filter by those that aren't in an album, which is useful for those of you who really like to keep all of your photos in albums, because you can quickly see those that aren't. Switching across to Photos on iOS now briefly. And there's a new way to view your albums. So here you can see they are in list view. But if I tap up here, you can view them with the key photos in each album on show, which I think looks a little bit better. I do like this. Although the sad news in our house is that Groot, our beloved leopard gecko, did pass away last month after an illness he couldn't shake off. So sad times, I'm afraid. And the last photo addition here is in this recently deleted items section. So if I just authenticate to go in, then tap select up here, we can now, when we tap on the dots, either restore them all with just a tap or delete them, whereas before we needed to do this individually. Now, new on macOS are Genmoji, which is one of the better image-based Apple Intelligence features that we've seen. I do quite like these. I've got some noise going on here outside the studio at the moment, and I wanted to create an emoji to send to Kelly that summed up how I felt. So I press Control, Command and Space to bring up the emoji picker, then click on this button here to create a Genmoji. And because this is the first time on this machine, I see this splash screen, so I'll click Continue. And now I need to describe what I want. So an annoyed face with ear defenders. It's gone away to create some options for me. And I think that one sums up how I feel quite nicely. I can click on these arrows and then more options are created. And then when I see the one that I want, I just click and it's added. Now onto an update that really has made me smile. If you're an Apple News Plus subscriber and you like cooking, you're going to want to pay attention to this one, because we have a food section in News Plus. I'll tap, and we have a front page that has a featured recipe. It's got some news articles down here. It's got your recently viewed recipes as well. And if I come up, I can tap on Recipe Catalog. And this takes me to a section that has hundreds of recipes in here. They're split up into sections on this page. And at the top, you can tap on some of these buttons. So Weeknight here has some great ideas for eating well while still dealing with your working day. Got some nice ideas there. You can tap up here to remove this filter and then perhaps take a look at meals that take less than 30 minutes to cook. Again, we have some good options here. I like the look particularly of this chicken and chorizo jambalaya. In fact, that looks so good, I'm going to save it to my library, which is like my own recipe book, and then come back. So you can search for recipes here as well, of course. So 3-bean chili. I do love a 3-bean chili. And if you feel you're spoilt for choice here, you can tap on this filter button and you'll see that you can trim this down by quite a lot here. Now I'll come out and just tap on one of these. And what do we see on the recipe itself? Well, in the top right-hand corner, you can tap on these dots. And this will allow you to save the recipe. You can read the story behind it. You can copy the link or share the recipe. But most of these options are available elsewhere on this page. And also from here, we can see how long it takes to cook, how many it serves. And then down here, we have both the directions and the ingredients, as you would expect. So there is enough here to get you going and have a good experience. However, there is some more. If you tap on cook, all of that craft disappears and now you just have your directions. Up here, you can tap to view the ingredients, but the directions is where the magic is. So you can swipe down to move through the different steps here. If there is a time there that you need to use, you can tap and it's going to set a timer in the clock application for you. And if you see any ingredients in bold, you can tap them and it tells you the amount that you need to use. I do really like this. If you don't want to use a third-party app like Crouton or Mela, this could really work for you. And if you save a recipe, you can get to them easily over here in the sidebar under saved recipes.